From the image of Bigfoot that was uploaded on Instagram and Facebook to the massive footprints that were discovered in Washington state, here are the most terrifying Bigfoot sightings ever caught on camera. Over and over again, we have been confronted with the notion that the legendary cryptid known as Bigfoot is out there somewhere in the Pacific Midwest over in North America. While many of us have bought into the idea that the mysterious bipedal creature is out there, the elusive nature of the massive hairy creature that we believe Bigfoot to be makes it difficult to believe that it actually exists. It has proved to be so elusive that there is still no conclusive proof that the hominid is really out there. That said, those that claim to have run into it over the last few decades have come away from their encounter with the legendary cryptid with stories of their own to show for it. While some claim to have had some sort of indifferent encounter with Bigfoot, others have told stories that are terrifying to say the least. Instagram Bigfoot. One of the most terrifying sightings of Bigfoot that has ever been caught on record was when this photo came to the attention of Bigfoot enthusiasts. This photo surfaced when it was posted on Instagram on March 2, 2025. The photo was posted with a caption that said, "An anonymous source claims they found an old camera deep in the woods near Portland, Oregon."
Here we go. We're at the giant tree. I found it. Oh shit.
When the film was developed, this black and white image appeared, showing what looks like a Bigfoot-like creature. The caption wasn't lying because one look at the creature in the image would have you wondering if this was really the legendary cryptid. One thing is for sure though, it did look a lot like Bigfoot. Just take a look at it. One thing that may catch your attention the same way that it caught the attention of several experts in the field was the creature's face. One look at it and they seemed to be certain that this creature in the photo had to be real. The facial features just seemed to be too realistic to ignore. Looking at the slightly open mouth, the prominent brow ridge and the large nose, and even you would doubt that this was some sort of costume. Upon closer examination, several people have even commented about how the face seemed to have the features of a human and a monkey. This is interesting because this is exactly how creatures such as Bigfoot and Sasquatches have been described in the past. Aside from the creature's face, its broad frame that possesses a ton of power thanks to the powerful arms and chest found on it also proved to be features that convinced others that this must be the legendary cryptid. What is even more fascinating about this creature that was in the image is that the image was taken in Portland, Oregon. This is an interesting fact in this tale because back in the 60s and 70s, Bigfoot sightings experienced a spike when people started taking a keen interest in the field of cryptozoology.
Evidence collected by Paul Freeman and his network of researchers in the Blue Mountains has been closely examined by more PhDs and anthropologists than any other data set in all Bigfoot history.
During this period of time, a ton of people in the area turned up with different versions of their encounter with the legendary cryptid. While some turned up with their tales of an encounter with Bigfoot, others actually showed up with photos and footprint evidence as well. Funny enough, these sightings didn't really stop. In the following decades up till the present day, many have popped up with their own tales of their encounter with Bigfoot in the state of Oregon. The sightings have even been documented by the BFRO, also known as the Bigfoot Field Research Organization. During the documentation of these accounts, the BFRO also took time to take notice of other factors, such as the reports of what occurred during those encounters in Oregon and the nighttime vocalizations that were heard during said encounters. These encounters probably didn't come to an end because the people of Oregon seem to have taken a special interest in the legendary cryptid. Thanks to their active research community, you'd find that there are several groups that put a lot of effort into looking for the legendary cryptid. Some of them even carry out investigations and go on expeditions so that they can get some more clues that may one day help them find the legendary cryptid. Maybe this photo could be the real deal. What do you guys think? The creature seems to be quite compelling, doesn't it? Please let us know what you think about it in the comment section. Alaska Bigfoot. Let's turn our attention from one Bigfoot photo to another. This time, we're looking at one that proved to be quite strange. First off, we came across it because it was submitted to the Bigfoot investigation group known as Rocky Mountain Sasquatch. This is a team that focuses on collecting all the Bigfoot material and data out there so that they could analyze them. With any luck, it may actually help them prove that it is out there once and for all. In respect of the material and data that the group collects, We're talking about anything from encounters submitted to them by eyewitnesses to some of the strange videos that they came across while surfing the internet. This time, we're talking about a picture that was captured by a semi-truck driver who just happened to be driving down the remote Dalton Highway over in Alaska. Somehow, he happened to give the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch group this image of what looked like a pair of Bigfoots. Strange, right? Imagine finding not just one Bigfoot, but two. The pair was spotted as they perched on the ledge of a cliff. Seems as though they wanted to catch a look of the trucker for one reason or another. As if this isn't fascinating enough, the two Bigfoots look to be mother and child. What is also interesting about this encounter is perhaps the trucker himself. Turns out, he had been driving these trucks across Alaska for more than 4 decades now. The trucker claims that during these trips through Alaska, he actually had other encounters with the legendary cryptid. On this day in particular, all he wanted to do was have his lunch break, so he pulled over in a remote area in what he described as the middle of nowhere. Once he was done, he decided to take a walk. With his phone in hand, he took pictures of the beautiful sights of nature that he found in said remote area. It was during the pleasant walk that he caught a whiff of something rancid, something that could only be described as the scent of a decaying animal of all things. Although he could not find the source of the horrible smell, he decided to take a few pictures before he left the scene. Due to this, he never realized that he caught something truly frightening in his photos. A few days later, our trucker decided to look through his photos. Once he was done with his breakfast, he flipped through the photos in his camera. This was when he was shocked by what he found: our mother and child pair. Stunned by what he saw in the image, the trucker just had to call his wife over. "Take a look at this. You may have to strain to see the two creatures in the footage, but surely they are in there." It makes you wonder about what is truly out there when it comes to the legend of Bigfoot. Add the fact that there is a ton of remote land for such creatures to wander around. It comes as no surprise that Alaska is considered to be something of a hotspot for Bigfoot activity. Maybe this could be the real deal after all. Facebook Bigfoot. A photo of Bigfoot is great and all, but what would you guys think about a video of an encounter with the legendary cryptid? Have you guys ever seen this video that was uploaded on Facebook a while back? This video was uploaded by a user who claimed that this was real footage of the real deal. He actually believed that he was able to get footage of the real Bigfoot when he went on a hiking trip. What are the chances of that? When you watch the clip, you'd find that our Facebook Bigfoot was making his way through this thick forest. Despite how thick the forest was, he was still able to get the footage of this creature that was moving in the background. Shaken by the fact that he was not alone, the man was actually able to get a decent clip of what he believed to be the legendary Bigfoot. You can't really blame the man for believing that this was Bigfoot. Just take a look at its features. It was a huge, hairy, and bipedal creature with long arms and legs. What may even be more interesting about the creature is that it seemed to be at home with these parts of the woods. As convincing as this recording may seem, there are those who aren't convinced by what they see in the footage. For starters, there are some who find the way that the creature walked to be too strange and unnatural. It seemed to be so unnatural that people have gone as far as claiming that this was definitely some dude in a Bigfoot costume. Those who know about the lore of Bigfoot are familiar with pranksters who seem to get some sort of kick from planning these hoaxes. Be it for financial reasons or just for the pleasure of it, there are really those out there who would go through the trouble of wearing that hot Bigfoot suit to play such a prank. It would really be annoying if this was the case. California Bigfoot. This time we head over to the state of California so that we can look at this footage of Bigfoot. This footage was obtained by a camper who decided to take a vacation in the mountains of California. Once he was done setting up his tent, our camper figured that he was going to take a break. After all, it is a lot of work to set up a tent. With this in mind, he decided to take a nap in his tent. Little did he know that this was not going to be a long nap. Before long, the camper was startled to attention by the sound of some rustling beside his tent. Looking to figure out what was going on, he switched his camera on. This is when he was startled by this strange creature that was lurking outside his tent. Just take a look at this. Through the small gap in the tent, the hiker was able to record this strange creature that was lurking in and around the area. Tall, hairy, and human-like, the strange creature seemed to be drawn to the camper for one reason or the other. You may want to believe that it was a bear or some other creature that is known to live in those woods, but we cannot ignore that face. Just one look at the face and you'd see how it has the features of a man and an ape. The shape of the nose and the prominent brow are too compelling to ignore. We must also take note of the fact that the details are too realistic to be passed off as a mask or a costume. Do you guys think this could be the real deal? Please let us know in the comment section. Trail cam Bigfoot. Let's take some time to look at this image that was picked up by this trail cam that was set up within this wildflower-rich area. You see that strange creature in the image? What do you guys think it is? Sure, it is partially hidden by the fauna in the image, but there is no ignoring the giant, hairy bipedal creature in the center of the image. Just looking at it, you can be convinced that you are looking at Bigfoot. After all, it seems to have all the features that the legendary cryptid has been described to have. Its hunched-over stature and its long, powerful arms show us all we need to see when it comes to how powerful this creature is. Add the uneven coloration of its thick fur, and you can argue that this is a compelling piece of evidence when it comes to proving that the elusive cryptid is really out there. Furthermore, the state of the creature in the image seems to convince people that this is not a prank or a hoax. Now, some can claim that he could be a gorilla, but we're sure that gorillas don't roam these parts. This may just be one of the most compelling pieces of evidence when it comes to proving that Bigfoot is indeed real. Georgia Bigfoot. Next up, let's take a look at this footage that was recorded by this man who was exploring the thick woods that can be found in the mountains of Georgia. Things went up a notch with this exploration when he suddenly ran into this strange creature. Large and hairy, the bipedal creature was casually making its way through these woods. This creature fit the description of Bigfoot to a T. The footage gets even more compelling when the man zoomed into the creature as it was making its way through these woods. The recording was so compelling that the Bigfoot enthusiasts won't let up. Even when they are facing arguments against those who do not believe in the creature, they are pretty much convinced that this man must have run into the legendary cryptid in those woods that were within the proximity of the mountains of Georgia. Whatever the case may be, we cannot deny how spooky these woods are. There is no telling what is truly out there when you decide to go on an adventure in the woods. Howling Bigfoot. From one spooky video of the legendary cryptid to the other, we take a look at this short clip that was recorded by this man who decided to take a walk through the woods in the dead of night. He was able to record as the events took an unexpected turn. Just when he got to this area that he referred to as the giant tree, he was startled by this horrifying growl. The moment was so terrifying that it could also be described as a scream. Whatever the case may be, the man was shaken by this strange sound that seemed to ring through the entire forest. Understandably, the man was shaken by this experience. Loud and bizarre, this was truly something disturbing. No wonder the man cut the clip short after hearing the strange sound.
Here we go. We're at the giant tree. I found it. Oh shit.
That said, it wouldn't be too strange to hear a bobcat or a wolf make such a sound. However, there is no denying that there is something truly strange about this sound. What was fascinating about it is that the sound could actually be attributed to the legendary cryptid. After all, those who are familiar with Bigfoot lore know that it is able to make a wide variety of sounds. Based on the accounts of eyewitnesses and some of the recordings those witnesses were able to capture, this sound is just as unsettling and as powerful as the one we hear in this recording. Turns out that this isn't even the first time that such a sound has been heard in the area. The people there have been haunted by this eerie sound for quite some time now. Listening to it is enough to make your skin crawl. Imagine if you were alone in the woods listening to this. Truly creepy. Alberta Bigfoot. Next up, we take a look at a clip that was so compelling, so intense that it inspired a famous Canadian survivalist known as Les Stroud to embark on his own Bigfoot investigation. Just take a look at this. From what we know, this shocking footage was taken by this park ranger who was making his rounds in the boreal forest located in Alberta, Canada. It's been reported that he was out there because he was trying to carry out an investigation on a series of alleged Bigfoot attacks on some of the park's personnel. Eager to make sure that he keeps an accurate recording of the events of the day, he used his camera to scan the area as carefully as he could. It was during this mini expedition that he realized that there was something lurking in the woods nearby. Before he knew it, he noticed this shadowy figure that was hiding within the trees. At first, the park ranger thought it was just a tree trunk. However, he dismissed the idea as the situation took a dark turn as time went on. Before he knew it, he was startled as this so-called tree turned into this black animated figure. Heck, the figure looked as though it was stalking him because as soon as the park ranger had noticed its presence, it let out this aggressive scream. Chilling and guttural in nature, it echoed through the forest in a way that scared the park ranger out of his wits. He didn't need anyone to tell him that he needed to get out of there as quickly as he could. Looking back at the footage, we can tell that it was this massive bipedal creature. Could this creature actually be the legendary Bigfoot? The video seemed to end at a point where the creature caught up with the park ranger, leaving us in a state of shock. What do you guys think? Could this unsettling encounter be one that involved the legendary cryptid? Please let us know in the comment section. Bigfoot footprints. So far, we've taken a look at some of the most compelling images and videos when it comes to the legend of Bigfoot. This time, let's take a bit of a left turn and take a look at one of the most convincing footprints evidence out there today. Today, we listen to the work of renowned Bigfoot researcher Cliff Crook. According to him, there were these unusual footprints that were discovered by these mushroom hunters known as Karen and Grant Ferguson and Karen's father, Joseph Reed, in Washington state. This discovery took place in Mount Rainier National Park. While hunting for these mushrooms, the trio was confronted by this foul smell, a smell that was similar to the foul odor that was perceived by the semi-truck driver when he ran into the mother and child Bigfoots. The smell alone wasn't frightening enough. Soon the group was even more startled by the crashing sounds that they heard in the woods. As they tried to make sense of things, the group was startled even more when they ran into these massive footprints that came with strides that came to lengths of about 6 feet. Looking back at them, Crook considered them to be one of the most interesting sets of footprints that he had ever come across during his research on the legendary creature. Found on a sandbar along the upper Nisqually River, the footprints were measured to be about 7 by 14 inches all the way back in 1990. Eager to preserve them, Crook made casts of the prints. Upon analysis, he compared them to an oversized, heavily calloused, ape-like foot. As fascinating as this was, we don't seem to have any official records of these footprints. According to the authorities, it seems as though the powers that be did not want to have any reports of such encounters. Maybe this is due to the dismissive nature that extends from the scientific community, especially in the face of lack of evidence. With any luck, maybe one day, further investigations will help us prove that this is Bigfoot. From the image of Bigfoot that was uploaded on Instagram and Facebook to the massive footprints that were discovered in Washington state, here are the most terrifying Bigfoot sightings ever caught on camera.